You're watching the Women Police Pipes and Drums in action, heralding the transfer of command of the parade from the parade regimental sergeant major to the parade commander. They're an extremely talented group of officers who juggle policing duties with their band obligations. With the handover complete, the pipes and drums are back in action. Some history for you. Such ensembles go back hundreds of years to, you guessed it, Scotland. It's now mostly ceremonial, but back then they were used to set and keep the pace on long marches. Not to mention help keep soldiers' spirits up. The Women Police Pipes and Drums Band have a more recent history. They were established in 1972 but have since gone on to achieve worldwide recognition. They've performed across Asia and as far afield as France, Italy, Sweden, and even Scotland.
Masuk! Bais! Bais! Hormat panci-panci! Hormat! Sanja! Dah!
Lawan kombatan! Lari kiri! Zapata! Hot!
Paving the way for the Guard of Honour contingents is the Colours Party, featuring the Singapore Armed Forces 37 regimental colours. Back in the day, these flags helped troops differentiate friend from foe on the battlefield. In fact, the colours then held strategic value because they were able to show how a battle was panning out. Because they were meant to rally soldiers to predetermined points in battles, some armies were also able to confuse enemies by taking out the colours. Fast forward to modern times and the colours are of a more symbolic nature, carrying the Singapore Armed Forces history, honour and tradition. These days, you only see them during National Day, SAF Day and Anniversary Day parades, where they add to the pomp and pageantry. This year's Guard of Honour contingents are led by the 1st Commando Battalion. It was named Best Combat Unit for the 18th straight time. On the battlefield, they're trained to conduct air and seaborne operations, as well as reconnaissance and raid missions deep within enemy territory. Parade participants marching back at the float for the first time in 3 years. And over on the Marina Bay waters, you'll see 4 howitzer guns on board the Mobility 3rd Generation or M3G military rafts, getting into position to fire the presidential gun salute. This venue is set to be transformed into NS Square, but while its aesthetic will change, it will remain a tribute to national service. It will also continue to host National Day parades just like this one.
허르반 선정 턱
바이스 로소 전자 땅 바이스 선앙대 레이
The parade commander for this morning's parade is Lieutenant Colonel Tang Wee Go, commanding officer 113 Squadron. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our cabinet ministers, senior ministers, and deputy prime minister to the float at Marina Bay.
Here come our cabinet ministers streaming into the arena, all decked out in the familiar red and white of Singapore.
How many times have you heard them say the future is uncertain and everything must change?
Ms. Indrani Raja, Minister in the Prime Minister's office, together with Senior Minister Teo Chee Hean, acknowledging Singapore's everyday heroes here at the float. Mr. Tharman Shanmugaratnam as well, Defence Minister Ng Eng Hen,
And I know I gotta be the change I want to see. How easy we forget that everything takes time. No, nothing's ever perfect.
Emeritus Senior Minister Goh Chok Tong makes his entrance. Since retiring, Mr. Goh connects with the masses on his social media account M-Parader, which is a nod to the constituency he served for a long time.
This is my country. This is my flag. This is my future. This is my life. This is
바이스 자리 야
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome our Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong.
바이스 허마 반나마는 명치 허마 전자 땅 바이스 로소 전자 땅
Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong will now take his seat.
Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong has been a prominent figure in the fight against COVID-19. In his NDP message, he says that Singaporeans have stood together despite the crisis, but urged them to be on guard against fault lines that have been strained. All eyes now on his National Day rally speech, which is expected to outline how Singapore can be a COVID-resilient society.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
바이스 선앙대 레이
Ladies and gentlemen, the combined band will now perform their rendition of this year's NDP theme song, The Road Ahead.
This year's NDP theme song, The Road Ahead, is performed by the combined band made up of the SAF band and SPF band. By all accounts, a very popular tune, which in its original version is performed by Lin Ying, Sazairi, Shabir, and Shai. You'll get to see them in the flesh performing the song on the 21st of August. As its name suggests, the song addresses how Singapore can and will overcome the odds when faced by difficulties. In fact, its composer Lin Ying says she was inspired by the older generation and how it rose to the challenge of change as Singapore went from third world to first. Lin Ying says she hopes The Road Ahead cheers people up during the uncertainty of the times and dedicates it to our everyday heroes.
Boys, ready! Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome Her Excellency, President Halima Yaakob.
President Halima Yaakob arrives for the grand occasion in the traditional red and white of Singapore. It's her fourth NDP as Singapore's president.
First, Hormat President.